and welcome to Thraraj Solutions. In today's session, we'll be seeing the topic as role level security and how can you define roles and rules in Power BI desktop and the privacy levels in Power BI desktop. So we are going to see these topics in today's session. Today, let's see what is role level security. As we know, role level security can be used to restrict data access for given user. For example, any user has a role in an organization and they are permitted only to have access, limited access based on the roles. So here role level security with Power BI can be used to restrict data access for given user. And filter restricts data access at role level and you can define filters within roles. Role level security only restrict data access for users with view permissions. It does not apply to admin, members, or contributors. How can we define a role and rules in Power BI desktop? So to define security roles, we need to import data into the Power BI desktop report and we need to configure a direct query connection. After configuring the direct query connection, in the modeling ribbon, we have an option to select manage roles. Once you click on that, you get an option to create. So once you create roles, you need to provide the name for a role. Next, under table, you need to select on which table you would like to write a DAX expression. So in the given example, they have created a role as Eastern US on geographical table and they would like to have the expression only on the east zone. So once you have created the DAX expression, you need to click on the save button. Next, how do you validate the roles within the Power BI desktop? As we know familiar, where we go to manage the rules or create. Similarly, the modeling ribbon, you have an option to view. So once you click on this view, you can see the roles defined. So in this role defined, you need to click one of the selected role to whom you would like to give the view permission. So once the role renders the data relevant to for the role, you can select another user and supply a given user. Then click on OK. Then this is how you can view the view. Next, let's see the other topic as privacy levels in Power BI desktop. So in Power BI desktop, privacy level, specific isolation levels that determine the degree to which one data source is isolated from another data source. Although a restrictive isolation level blocks informations being exchanged between data source, it can reduce the functionality and performance. Let's see how the data source settings can be configured. To configure the data source settings, we need to go near the file. Once you click on the file, you have an option as options and settings. Once you click on that, you get an option and data source settings. Click on the data source settings. Once you click on the data source settings, where you have an option to edit permission. So once you click on the edit permission, under the privacy level, you need to select the level as privacy level. You have privacy, public, organized, private. So once you click on privacy and click OK and close, where the settings are being kept to be privacy. So let's see how the data source, organization, and public some following differences. So in private, the description and example of the data source. For the private, the data source is set to private, which contains sensitive or confidential information. Visibility can be restricted to unauthorized users. Okay. An example is Facebook data, a text file containing stock awards, or a workbook containing employee review information. Next is what is organization. So a data source set to organization can fold in private and other organizations' data sources. They cannot fold into public data source. Visibility is set to a trusted group. So, for example, a Microsoft Word document as intra SharePoint site with permission enabled for trusted groups. Next comes the public. So files, internet data source, workbook data can be set to public, and data can be folded into other data source. Visibility is available to everyone. Here, the free data from Azure Marketplace or data from a Wikipedia page or a local file data containing data copied from a public page. As we know, private where we keep the information very sensitive and confidentiality, and it is given only for the limited peoples. Whereas organization, if it is interchange public privately between a person from one organization and other person from another organization, where there is a trust built and the data is kept within them, and it is visible only for the trusted group of people. Public, it's an open source where you can get the data openly. That is what here. Next, let's see the privacy level configuration. So to configure the privacy levels, so you need to select the file. As we have said, we need to select the option and settings. Select options. Under options, you have one option as current file. In there, you have a privacy. Under privacy, we need to select the privacy level, and we need to combine the according to the privacy level setting. So once you click on OK, you will get the privacy level settings. So here let's see some settings and description as we have here. Combine data according to a privacy level settings for each source, which is when selected data is combined according to the privacy level settings. Merging data across privacy isolation zones will result in some data buffering. The next option is ignore the privacy levels and potential improve performance. So when selected data is combined, ignoring your privacy level setting, ignoring the privacy settings can reveal sensitive or confidential data to an unauthorized user. These settings might improve performance and functionality. Thank you all.